Welcome back. This is the unbranded 39-in-1 precision screwdriver, and its spinning top feels lackluster. Let's talk about the main function, which is of course holding bits. It holds bits really well. It has, if you can see it in there, it has a retention clip. It has a retention clip and a magnet. So when you put bits in there, they hold very well. Now that being said, they do tend to wobble more than I would like for a precision screwdriver. Now, it comes with a ton of bits. Of course, 39 in 1. Now, that being said, the bit selection is good. I like the bit carousel a little bit, but because there's so many and it's so tightly wrapped up together, sometimes it can be a little bit hard to find the exact bit you want. Now, I would recommend when you get them to reorganize them. Because they're tight, it's actually harder to get the ones at the bottom than it is the ones in the middle, or especially the ones at the top are the easiest to get. So I put the bits that I'm more likely to use more often at the top, and then I put the next ones in the middle, and then the ones I'm not likely to use at the bottom. The next thing I'll say is I feel like it comes with one too many bits, because I don't like having a bit in there. I like being able to take this out, connect it, and then put the carousel back in. So this bit I've never used. I leave it there because I don't mind losing it. So you have the bits like this. You take this out. Here's the one I want. Now I have to take this one out, put it back, put this, put it back. Okay, I'm done using it. Now I'm going to do it. I want to put this back where it was, but I have to find the bit that doesn't belong and put this one back, and then now I can insert it. It feels like one extra step. You don't need all 39 bits. So I think the 39-in-1 comes from the fact that this is a 4mm driver, I guess, though I wouldn't use it as one. So you don't need all 38 bits. So I just kind of take this guy out, and for the remainder of the review, I'm going to pretend that guy doesn't exist. Now here's a 4mm bit carousel. It does accept them, and then they go pretty deep. They work really well. They have the same amount of wobble, but they still hold very well. Now that being said, this one is the one I'm putting in and out. If I were to take a thinner one, let's say I take this small little flathead and I stick it in there, it's actually really hard to get it out because it holds so well and there's not enough to grab onto. So sometimes I actually have to grab pliers to get these out if I were to use these. Here is a banana 4 scale. Please subscribe. Guess what? I wrote a children's book called Who Says Pooh? It's a funny read-aloud children's book about words in different languages that sound phonetically like the English word poo. Buying a book today helps support my channel. And also, you'd brighten up my day a whole bunch. Link is in the description. Now back to the video. You can see here, the spinner cap works pretty well, unless I turn it upside down. It works well. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. So the tolerances on this aren't very good. Maybe a different version would be better, but take a look at this. This is spinning for quite some time. It's still spinning pretty well. The bearing in there is actually pretty dang good. I've been talking this whole time. It's now starting to slow down, and it's almost done. You can see it slowing down now. Boom. But if I were to put this guy in here, it doesn't spin nearly as much. Okay? And especially if it's like this, it doesn't spin very well. So the problem with that is that because of the metal type, it's already sort of slippery in the hand. And when I'm trying to do this, I don't know if you can hear the sound here, but it makes it difficult to use because it's so strong. So here's my basic screwdriver beforehand. If I am doing something, I've actually found it not a huge problem without that spinny top to be able to maneuver it and do what I need to do with it, because of the shape of the handle is really good and it has some good grip. So because this one doesn't, you really rely on that spinny bit. And because it's so rough the way it is, it's actually hard to use. So it's fixable. How do we fix it? Well, that's just a magnet. And then I don't know if you can see on the inside, but there is another magnet on the inside. You can see that right there. Okay. And that's just how it stays in. It's just staying in by a strong magnet. Now, if you have a small washer or something, um, if you want to just cut off a small little bit of metal or something like that, I'm using this washer, which is a little fiddly and annoying, but just to show proof of concept, when I put it in there, now this bearing is back to being freaking awesome because you create just a little bit of space between there. So now when I use it, it's silent. It's not doing that rubbing thing anymore, and it feels a lot better to use. It's a lot more comfortable. I wouldn't suggest using a washer just because that hole there makes it hard to line up and makes it so you have to like twist it to get it in there. But if you have just a small, millimeter thick piece of round little metal you can stick right on there, it is the right way to fix it. Now, when I was looking at this, I was also looking at the Hoto. I think it's like a 24-in-1 or something like that. And that one has so many great reviews. It's more compact, it's lighter, and probably easier to use. But if you want a ton of bits though, this is the guy. This has tons of bits. And if you don't mind the small modification, again, this one is for you. So sometimes you need to put a little bit of effort into something to get it to have the best results and function the best way possible. And that's the case with this screwdriver. I'm glad I put the energy into solving this problem because this isn't that much larger or thicker or heavier than the Hoto, and I have way more functionality with this than I do with this, and I'm glad I have this. This precision screwdriver holds a ton of bits, and if you're curious about another screwdriver that holds a ton of bits, I would recommend you check out this video here. Thanks for watching.